Yellow.
I got a lot of unchecked notes. Howdy.
Nice. I also took one note when I was drunk last night.
What was it? Share with the class.
Well, it actually happened a couple of weeks ago. Austin and I went on a walk and we sat on a bench and then we were like watching these pigeons in front of us and the pigeons were like doing something weird and we were like they're acting strange. And then it turns out that the pigeons then had sex in front of us, which took approximately 0.5 seconds. And then the male pigeon like strutted around and we were both like
really proud of his work. Like I did that.
We were both like, have you ever seen that before? I've never seen that before. So that was That's the crazy. Only note. Note just said pigeons fucking, actually.
Nice.
But I mean, I figured
I have a problem of
story was a bit longer than
that. I have an issue of paring down my notes, but then I forget what I meant by whatever I said.
You paraphrase and then you don't understand what the paraphrase was.
Yeah, because one of them I just said, I want to be in a commercial. I don't know.
Right.
I don't remember enough, I guess. If there was like a commercial I saw and I was like,
that one, I want to be in that one. Also, or I'm like I had an idea
for a commercial. Why?
Oh, it could be. Oh, no, I'm just embarrassed because I have worn this shirt in almost every single one of our recordings and since I got it. So
if it makes you feel better, like, I haven't noticed.
I am an outfit repeater. I'm sure someone's noticed. I don't really care.
You haven't
I've just
changed.
Pointed it out. I just every haven't
time
changed.
We've recorded,
I haven't taken a shower.
Yeah.
No.
I do have a note. I had another Kevin Bacon, Patrick Swayze type situation.
Shocker.
I thought that Yes Theory and Dude Perfect were the same guys.
They're like not. Yes Theory. I don't know what Dude Perfect is.
Dude Perfect, I think, is the like trick shots guys. And I thought Yes Theory was like they got their start doing trick shots and then turned into the travel stuff. So I thought they were the same, but they're not.
Well, to be
honest,
they
are. I thought they were.
No,
I think they're not.
Okay. No. They're not because they're from Frisco, Texas. And all of their names give me hives. Tyler Tony, Garrett Hilbert, Kobe Cotton, and Cody Jones, and Corey I'm sorry, Kobe and Corey. Ostensibly, they are brothers because their last name is Cotton. That sounds like something I hate.
Alliteration.
But to be honest, Yes Theory I think they're Swedish. At least two of the guys are Swedish. One of them is like Swiss. Yes Theory is also a bit cringe, which it looks like Dude Perfect is also kind of cringe, but like not in a bad way.
But in like a wholesome way. I mean, I don't know much. I know more about Yes Theory than Dude Perfect, but yeah, cringy in like a wholesome
same
way.
Same. I actually actively watch Yes Theory videos. Mostly when I'm high, but that's neither here nor there. Because they just have the coolest videos. They went looking at abandoned castles in Scotland. Did I learn anything about the abandoned castles? Well, not really. But they went with the two strongest men in Scotland, and then one of their brothers talked about the human condition.
Oh, nice.
And that was that.
So do they like explore things and then get philosophical about it, or?
Pretty much, yeah. That's like their whole deal. And Oshin is convinced that it's fake because they always find like the coolest stuff and like meet the coolest people. And I was like, they probably are just filming every single thing that they do, and then they only put the like cool stuff into the videos, basically.
Yeah, probably.
Like they met a subscriber in like the most dangerous city in Pakistan, and it was like. I mean, obviously that's because that they've been filming for like the entire time they've been there, and they just happened to find a subscriber, But the video makes it look like, oh, like the third guy that they met was a Yes Series subscriber. So,
of course,
whatever.
Classic.
Any
I
other
never
notes for me?
well, we never did ins and outs.
Oh, no, we didn't.
And
It is
I
Lunar
do
New
have
Year,
some
so
prepared.
okay. I don't have any
I
prepared.
think.
This year has just been a train wreck, so far be it from me to
Okay.
tell
I could
anyone
just
what's
share
in or
mine.
out. Yeah. How about you share yours and I can comment on them? Because I'm not making any predictions whatsoever about this year based on how it's gone in the last month.
Mine are more personal, but if anyone would like to also join in this, I think everyone should.
Yeah, I
N
agree.
is being your own sound effect machine.
Well,
I've
yeah,
been
obviously.
sound affecting my life a lot more recently.
Like,
It's a lot
boing!
more fun. Well, recently Aiden and I
Quack,
have
quack.
been, we've been doing the for Mario the wow.
See,
Anytime
this
anything
is
goes wrong, we just go wow, and it makes it less
this
bad.
is this is something that Ashin and I just do anyways. Like,
Yeah, I think maybe I wasn't realizing because I do like whenever we get on the on ramp to go north, like, and
you,
you have to do the roundabout thing, we go wee.
yeah, obviously.
I've just been noticing that I'm doing it a lot more, and it's a lot of fun. Everyone's
That's
sound effect
good.
your life.
Sound affect your life. Truly, it makes things a
Yeah.
lot better. I have a story about that. So, there's this guy who plays for Arsenal, which is Ashin's team, and his name is Gabriel Jesus, and he looks like a me. Like, he looks like the human incarnation of what a me designed on the Wii looks like.
Oh
And
my
so
god.
every time that he does something that's like bad, we go, "Oh." Or if he gets a if he gets a goal, we go,
Hey!
"Yay!" Because he's got the eyebrows, like his eyebrows are squares.
What is his name?
Oblong. Gabriel Jesus. It's just spelled Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. He has the
He's got the
straight
me
eyebrows.
eyebrows, right?
Yeah.
He's
So
so
funny.
expressive as well. He's so expressive as well. So like whenever his like little eyebrows downturn, we're like, ah, or yeah. When he gets a goal, it's fun.
That's so
Anyways,
good.
we sound effect a lot.
It's so nice. Adds a little whimsy. In
Yeah,
is whimsy.
in whimsy for sure.
Out is pretending rocks aren't cool. Not
Okay.
that I surround myself with people that don't think rocks are cool, but I saw one person talking shit about rocks online and got unnecessarily upset about it.
Yeah, it sounds like you.
So
That's
don't
fair
do
enough.
that. Rocks are cool. Rocks are objectively cool. If I guess if you know how rocks become rocks, but like
I can objectively agree to that. I will say that I'm never
you
going to
don't
be
need
the
to
type
like
of person that
appreciate
like
a rock, like go
yeah,
up and be like,
like
fuck yeah, rocks. But like don't
I'm
be
not the
like,
type of
why are
person
you
that's going to
looking at
like
rocks?
collect them. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I'm so happy for everyone to do what they want to do that makes them happy,
Right.
but I'm not going to
In
look for rocks, you know.
2026 is being happy for things that bring your friends joy, even if you don't like
Yeah.
them.
Even if you're like a bit, well, that's kind of the whole thing of this podcast though, isn't it? Like we both get to
yeah.
talk about things that we like that the other person doesn't necessarily
And
like,
I just
but we're like
that you like
happy.
it.
We're just happy that we like it, you know? Like that's
And
the
in
whole point.
2026 is loving how much your friends love things.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
love
Being
how much
excited that your friends are
aggressively
excited.
love how much your friends love things.
Actually, just
I go on
be really
Pokemon Go to
aggressive about
send
it.
Aiden and Becca little gifts. I don't play Pokemon
That's
Go,
so
but I'll
nice.
go send them gifts. I have to
You
relearn how
do
to do it
also
every time.
visit me
I
on
say I do that often. I do it when I remember or when
Mhm.
Aiden's next to me playing.
You
But
do send me things on Finch weekly. And
I do.
unfortunately,
I've
I don't
gotten
have
back
enough
into Finch.
rainbow stones.
Uh,
We have a shared objective goal
I haven't
that's
gotten
just
on in the past
survive the
couple
day.
days. Yeah.
I do enjoy
I
that.
haven't been on in the past few days though. Every time I go on, it's like, do you
It's
want to do
okay.
a 2-day streak? You think you can do that? You think you can do 2 days? And then I
Do you
go
want to
on
know
a
what
week
my
later
streak
and it's
is?
like 2 days. Do you want to try 2 days again?
It's like, please.
Please.
It's
2
not
days.
concerned
All I'm
about my
asking.
streak because my streak is 24 days. So
Yeah, there was a long time where I had a good streak going and then
I haven't
I just
gotten on
all of a sudden I
today,
think they had
actually.
1 month where I didn't love the theme and I was like, all right.
Yeah, fair enough. I've also, speaking of whimsy, sorry, 26 days.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of whimsy, I've decided that I am going to dress up my little Finchie. Her name is Cheeto. I'm going to dress her up for every major holiday. So we're starting on St. Patrick's Day now. Because her little micro pet is this tiny little acorn kernel, and he's all green.
I don't know if I've gotten the acorn yet.
He's so cute.
Let me go on Finch.
I love him.
How's Todd doing? Hi there,
Todd.
I'm aware Todd has missed me so much. I'm so sorry.
Todd
One day
missed
streak.
You so much.
Here we go. It said, "Can you go for 2 days? Can you give us?
How
2
about
days,
you go for
please?
2 days?
For the love of God, give us 2 days." Like that. Todd has a sea turtle the size of him.
Aww. Yeah, Todd gave me special cake. Actually, I'm pretty sure. I took my meds.
I did drink some water. Can't
She's
really
in
say I survived
Edinburgh
the day
right
yet,
now.
though. Todd found mushrooms. Oh, this is a big moment. Hang on.
His name is Oakley. He's a little kernel.
Oh, he's so cute.
He's so cute.
Hi, Oakley.
Name is
I
Cheeto,
forgot I
though.
had more ins and outs. I got distracted. In is Finch.
Yeah, more ins.
2026.
In is Finch. In is gamifying self-care.
Out is pretending that we don't like talking about American Girl dolls. You know,
yeah, no,
it comes up and we're like, no, we're talking about American Girl dolls again. Oh no, but like, yeah, I'm gonna talk about American Girl dolls.
But it's part of the history. I actually used
just like Todd just learned. We grow every day, but we are who we are.
I actually recently used American Girl dolls to teach Ashin about the immigration trends from Scandinavia to the United States. So they have practical everyday uses, you know?
They do.
And by the way, he got his DNA results back as well. But he was confused about Scandinavia. Anyways, we'll elaborate on that later.
I want to go into that. And I have interrupting. Mac and I interrupt each other a lot when we're talking, and we've discovered that it is seen as rude by outsiders. But we kind of just have like 2 conversations going at the same time, and it leads to getting 2 conversations done at once. So if everyone just starts interrupting each other, then we can all just have our separate conversations all together at the same time. I understand maybe that doesn't work for every brain, but it works real good for mine. So.
Good. I'm glad. I've decided that because like one time my Spanish teacher told me that it's not rude to interrupt people in Spain, that I have carried that over into a lot of things, except for that does bother my partner every now and again because he will be talking about something.
I said out, interrupting in a mean way.
Yeah. I'm not doing it in a mean way, but like he'll be talking about something and then my brain comes up with something new that's like completely tangential to like what he was actually talking about. And then I say it and he's like, but
how'd we get
there? He's like, you weren't paying attention to me. And I was like, okay, yeah. In his attentiveness.
I often bring Aiden in like midway through the conversations I'm having with myself.
Yeah, same.
And so all of a sudden he'll just get like we also need to add like apples and some pineapple. And he'd be like, huh? And I was like, for the grocery list. Were you not in here as well?
Sorry,
were you not in my brain?
We were telekinesising, I thought.
Maybe get on that.
That was weird.
I have 4 more.
Okay.
In is showing you my fidget of the day. Today it says gumball drop. Gumdrop.
Mine's a Nido. Mine's my nice cube. This is the
I don't
only
really know where
fidget
my throw up guy is right now. Oh
wait. God.
Yeah, I do. I won't won't use it this time. Anyhow, in THC drinks, I've been really into this like blue raspberry pop, and I struggle with like edibles and drinks that if you tasted THC, it just like triggers my gag reflex, as most things do
as most
for
things
some
do.
reason.
Yeah.
But I've been really into it's the Keef brand blue raspberry sodas, and they're so
and how
good.
long does it take? Like, does it hit you like a train? You're like, oh
No, I think I need to work on my tolerance a little bit because I drink them as
yeah.
like a nightly cocktail. But then if we're also like smoking in the garage, then I haven't had it just on its own and waited long enough to see what just that
Okay.
does to me.
Okay.
So I
Gotcha.
should probably do that. But really, it just tastes really good. So
Okay,
I'm a
fair
big
enough.
fan. It's a good
I
blue
don't know
raspberry
it. I
pop,
don't
and
think you can get TH.
they make a grape soda one that's really good. Yeah, we get it at the dispensary.
I mean,
Oh, fucking speaking of dispensaries and medical marijuana, I had to renew my card this week. And
yeah.
every single year, I swear it is the worst experience of my life.
Why?
I hate it so much. I call this lady, the doctor, and it's just like a quick telehealth call. And she's like, all right, you have to take this PTSD assessment, which is fine.
Oh.
I take the assessment and I submit it. I did this last year too. So I take the assessment, I submit it, and then I get back the signed like application where she affirmed
Renews.
and renew it. And I just had to upload it to the state. But they spelled my first name wrong. They got my address wrong. They got like some random other stuff wrong. And when you go on the website before the telehealth call, you fill out everything that's in the application just on their website, like your name
And they
and
just
everything. And they still, I think it's because the first year I did it, I went and saw her in person and I told her my name was Katherine, but didn't specify how it was spelled. And so that started a problem. In the first year, I had to get it corrected. And so I thought they would have fixed it in their system from that. Last year, I had no problems. This year, it's like they just remembered.
They're like, oh yeah, we need to spell her name wrong.
And so I emailed them and was like, hey, could I get this corrected? And they're like, yeah, you could just call the state and have them correct it. And I was like, well, I haven't submitted it yet. So like, can you just fix the form?
Can you just do it
before I submit it?
Yeah.
So they called me and we talked through all the information. And then they sent me the new application and my street name was spelled wrong. Like it was just missing an L.
Oh my God. That is so annoying.
And I already have so much anxiety around this process because I think just because of the stigma around weed, I feel like I'm lying having to apply for a medical card, even though I'm not. I have qualifying conditions.
Yeah.
But like, I already have so much anxiety and then having to jump through so many hoops. I went into therapy this last week and she was like, I have never seen you this anxious. We also discovered a correlation between me not stopping taking my meds consistently and my higher levels of anxiety. So I am doing that again. I forgot to take them yesterday. I took them today.
Wait, you not? Wait. So does that mean that
I was really anxious because I had so many things building up, and that was kind of the main one because that already causes me a lot of anxiety. But I also had stopped.
You get anxious when you don't take your meds.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I had stopped. That didn't click until I went into therapy. I had stopped taking them consistently because I was afraid of the Adderall. And then it was like, well, how did you feel when you were taking it consistently? And I was like, I remember telling Aiden that I thought it was weird that I wasn't anxious about things that I'm normally anxious about. And she was just like, mm-hmm. So maybe we start taking those again.
Yeah. This is like how I feel about taking Xanax though, because it's kind of like, so I had an interview this week and I didn't hear back. So I had the interview on Tuesday and didn't hear back until Friday. It's like I didn't really hear back. Like there wasn't a definitive answer. Like it's just a continuation, but like hearing back made me feel better in and of itself. But like I take Xanax when I'm not when I'm having a panic attack actively because it doesn't stop those, but when I'm just feeling really anxious. And so I think I weirded Austin out because we went to go get actually, to be fair, this is the day before the interview, so I was nervous about the interview.
Mm-hmm.
So I took a Xanax, and um, like we went to go get groceries, and we went to pick up a package, and he was like, so you're not anxious right now, and I was like, not really. Like, I just feel like a bit mellow. And like every like problem that he brought up, like we have friends that are moving right now, and so like it wasn't a problem, but he was like, oh well, we should try and like help Charlie and Alan this week, and like do and blah blah blah. And normally this kind of stuff, like if things are piling up, like it gives me anxiety, but I was just kind of like taking it in stride. And he was like,
Mm-hmm. What is
he was
happening?
like, are you good? And I was like, yeah. He's like, it really does mellow you out, doesn't it? And I was like, yeah, I guess. Like, I was like, this is kind of what normal people feel like, I assume. I
What
don't
is it?
know.
What does it say about the two of us that Adderall mellows me out and Xanax mellows you out? I think that's all we need to describe our dynamics.
Yeah, that's a great
Adderall
point.
calms me down.
Adderall makes me feel like a normal human being, and Xanax makes me feel like a normal. So basically, we would never be addicted to the same drugs. Essentially, is what that means.
And that's good. We would never have to share.
No,
If it
we
came down
wouldn't
to
ever
it.
have to share. I know.
Love that.
Because I think I would be absolutely probably the most insufferable person of all time if I was on Adderall. Like
My dad was,
like
when we got into a discussion about it Christmas Eve, and he was like, like everyone feels like a superhero when you take Adderall. And I was like, I just like feel calm
that's
for
like
the first
that's
time. It's like it's day in
yeah.
the life of SpongeBob's brain. It goes
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
yeah.
SpongeBob's running around on fire to the SpongeBob's sitting at their desks and
Yeah.
working. Like that's
Yeah. It's like that's how I described, because obviously Xanax is also a recreationally used drug, like that people take to
Mm-hmm.
feel like out of it, I guess,
Yeah.
is the best way that I would describe how people have described
Yeah.
feeling like when they take a bigger dose of Xanax to me. But like
Mm-hmm.
if I took more than the regular dose, I I would just be normal, like have a normal level of anxiety, maybe. Oh, weird. Horrible
Wild.
concept, but yeah, I know. Anyways,
Ugh.
so
Drugs.
do you want to do your ins and outs? Do the rest of your ins and outs?
Oh,
Or
yes, my last one. Oh. Okay, I have one last out, and then I have something really exciting to talk about that would take 2 seconds and no one else will be interested in but me.
okay, great.
My last out is stopping myself from saying the first name that comes to my head when I'm trying to remember the name of something. Like how my mom has infamously McSqueezies,
Yeah.
named McSqueezies, or Hammond Trees McSqueezies. I've realized that
Yeah.
I do that, but I usually catch myself in my head first, and then I give a warning of what I'm about to say. Like I know it's wrong. I think I'm
You
going to
do
stop
that,
with the
yeah.
warnings, and I'm just going to say the wrong word and
Do
let
that,
you help me
honestly.
figure it out.
It's so fun. It's honestly, Oshin does
I'm gonna
that, and
let it
it's
out
really
now.
funny. I really
I've
like
started
it
doing it
when
with
he does
Aiden.
that. Yeah.
And then
It's
the
just
last really
funny.
exciting thing, I got Naomi off of my Animal Crossing island. Finally. This bitch
Congratulations.
followed me from I had my island that I got in 2020 when we got Animal Crossing, right? And then I
Yeah.
deleted it and started over because I got bored. And also I had to get yours and Leah's tents off of it because you were never going to play it again. So I started
Yeah.
a new island, and Naomi came to that island without my permission.
Okay.
And I couldn't
Who
get
is
her off.
Naomi?
She
Just a real
is
human?
no, she's
She's an NPC.
I think she's a hippo.
Oh. Right. How much
She's a
is Animal
snooty cow
Crossing?
villager. And when
Oh.
I say snooty, I mean like she's a bitch. And I've been trying to get her off of my island for since she got there. And she finally, I was like running past to go to the hotel, saw a thought bubble above her head in the distance, and I was like, this is my moment. And I ran up and she was like, I think of leaving the island. I was like, yeah.
And you said,
get out.
Get out.
Yeah. So
Leave,
big day,
bitch.
Naomi's gone. And I never have to
Hell
hear from her
yeah.
or see her ever again. So
I'm so happy for you.
Sorry for anyone that plays Animal Crossing and likes Naomi. I hate her so much.
I want to get
no
Animal
real
Crossing,
reason.
but it's 65 euros. Oh. I need to finish Zelda before I do anything. I'm almost there.
Yeah. There is a Zelda crossover with Animal Crossing in the new update.
Is there?
I think you have to invite an amiibo to unlock all the furniture items. I don't actually know. Yeah, Aiden's nodding.
Cool.
I have to bring a Zelda character to my island.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, do you want to start your...
Yeah, you want to learn a little bit?
A little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
There it is. Okay. Try. Honestly, I'm not sure how long this one will take. Okay. Today we're talking about the Western chicken turtle. When I was in I wrote a paper on this guy in college.
Okay.
In my
Are you just gonna read the paper?
No. Well,
you should.
The paper was bad. My paper was bad.
That would be so funny if you just said The Western Chicken Turtle by Katie Maxwell.
I was reading it last night, and the thing about the Western chicken turtle is we don't know much. And so okay. It's really a lot of paragraphs of me repeating the same thing over and over. So I'm not going to reread that. I did, however, so for the report, we had to interview someone that was an expert in the field, basically. Mm-hmm. And so I interviewed this guy that was studying the Western chicken turtle in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And he was working on his PhD. It was his PhD research, and I found the report that was published. I don't think this was his PhD thesis or anything. I think this report was published. Yeah, dissertation is the word I'm looking for. This report was published on the Oklahoma Wildlife Department website.
Oh, that's cool.
But he is named in the report. So I'll read some numbers from that just because I didn't get to write them down. Okay. I'll do that. There's where I want. Okay. Yeah. So the Western chicken turtle. These are weird little guys.
These are weird little guys. It's always good when it starts with that.
They have really long, stripy necks.
Oh yes, I've seen them.
Are kind of equal to the length of their plastron, which is the belly part of their shell. And other than that, they're turtles, so they have that kind of pear-shaped olive or dark brown shell or carapace. And they are small to medium and live in mostly quiet wetland habitats. The chicken turtles we're talking about today were studied in beaver ponds in Oklahoma.
Love that.
Shout out to Oklahoma.
Do they have a shout out Oklahoma? You hardly ever get to do it, so
I do. You're right.
For good reason.
There's not much to shout out there.
Look, they're so little.
They're cute little guys with long ass necks. They're like the giraffes of turtles.
Little.
They're like turtle giraffes. Yeah. So there's actually 3 types of chicken turtles. There's the Florida chicken turtle, which is found in the Florida Peninsula. And then the Western and Eastern chicken turtles, which are separated by the Mississippi River. So the Eastern chicken turtles are from the east of the Mississippi River all the way over to the Atlantic coast and then down into northern Florida. And then the Western turtle we're talking about today is found west of the Mississippi in Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Texas, and Oklahoma. Nice. I think they were separated along the line from glaciation and glaciers coming up and receding. And
yeah, because that is kind of crazy how you think about when you think about it, it's like it's this like river and that's it that like
Yeah.
divides
Like yeah, I could
that's
do an episode on
crazy.
different types of like how like different types of evolution, how that happens.
Speciation. Is that
Yeah,
a word?
yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Pretty sure. I'm a
Sick.
scientist. I know words.
I know
So
words.
I know words. They're all kind of different. So when I was interviewing this guy's name was Ethan Hollander that I interviewed, and he said that originally when they were looking at the eastern chicken turtle, they thought it was weird and different from the Florida chicken turtle, but then they went to start studying the western chicken turtle and found that it is also weird and even more weird than the eastern chicken turtle.
Weird little
So
guys.
that's fun. Yeah. So the objective of his research he had like 3 main objectives. They wanted to figure out nesting timing and location
Mhm.
and clutch statistics. So basically, when the turtles went to nest, where they nested, and how many eggs, the size of the eggs, all those kinds of things.
Mhm.
Um, that was their first objective. Their second objective was to describe the nest site characteristics and nest predation rates. Also, they also part of their first objective was finding out their when turtles in the winter they bury themselves in the ground. Um, it's called I've read it 50 times in the past 24 hours, but I can't think of it now. Estivation? I'm pretty sure it's estivation.
Estivation.
Yeah. Estivation. I'm right. So estivation,
Nice.
estivation is the process of them burying themselves over winter,
Okay.
pretty much. So yeah, they wanted to find where they lay their nests and the characteristics of the nests, and then also where they go to bury themselves in the winter, and how deep
Mhm.
in the environment, those kinds of things. And then they also wanted to their third objective was figuring out their ages. So they wanted to be able to quantify the longevity of the turtles and describe the causes of their seemingly pretty short lifespan.
Okay.
Um, the western chicken turtle population is in decline. So a big part of it is they want to be able to inform restoration techniques. So some little facts about the western chicken turtle before I get too far into their report. Once again, I wrote down weird little guys.
Just to
So they
reiterate,
live, yeah.
weird little guys.
So they live in Oklahoma. They live in these networks of like shallow wetlands scattered across agricultural land.
Mhm.
Here we're studying beaver ponds mostly. None of the ponds they were living in, though, were big enough to support the population on its own. So they wanted to figure out kind of how and why they're moving between the ponds and why they live in some but not others.
Mhm.
The chicken turtle's name came either from their necks being so long, so when they're out basking in the sun, they look kind of like a chicken, or they taste like chicken. That was what Ethan said in the interview, and then he followed up with like, but I think that everyone says everything tastes like chicken, so who
Yeah.
knows? um,
Who's to say?
yeah. Something interesting about the western chicken turtles are chicken turtles are carnivorous at all life stages, but the western turtles start with a carnivorous diet, but then they kind of turn into vegetarians and just eat
Huh.
plants as they grow up
Weird.
when they're older. And then my favorite fun fact, which was Ethan's favorite fun fact in my interview with him, was that the chicken turtles in Oklahoma are only in the water from mid-March to mid-July, and they spend the other 8 months just buried up on the hill. And I don't really know why, because like the plants are still there, there's plenty of food, the water's there. They're just like, you know what?
They're like,
This is enough for me.
I prefer to be underground actually for most of the year.
They're like, I'll come out for a few months, but that's it.
Yeah. I'm afraid that's all I can offer you.
Which also kind of explains why we don't know much, because they're buried for
Yeah,
most of the year.
because they bury
They
themselves
can
for
only
most of
do
the
so
year.
much, which is honestly very
Yeah.
Oklahoma of them. Like, I will put forth a little bit of effort, and then I'm gonna peace out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just
Love
here.
that for them. Just existing.
Yeah. They like a long nap.
Good for them.
So the general goal of this paper is, since not much is known about the turtles and the populations in decline, we want to study it more to figure out what conservation efforts should be implemented. That's a way better way that I worded that there than when I just said it out of my ass earlier. Anyhow, I said the Western chicken turtle proves to be not like the other girls. But because of that, we can't really rely on the knowledge we have of the Eastern and Florida chicken turtles to inform conservation efforts, because they just act so different. So it's not necessarily, I mean, you can, but like, it's kind of like take it with a huge grain of salt, because we aren't actually sure.
Again, because they're buried. So we don't know.
Because they're buried most of the year. They face a lot of threats. Some of the threats that like all wetland creatures face, which is just declining wetlands. In Oklahoma, they live in mostly beaver ponds, because beaver ponds create a pretty shallow wetland area. And beaver ponds tend to get destroyed for ag purposes to free up land, or some people don't like beavers, which is pretty fucked up. And so they'll set traps to kill them, and then the beavers aren't there to maintain the ponds, and the turtle population starts to decline. Down in Houston, there's a lot of habitats on the outskirts of the city, so urban expansion is a big threat. And then just like increased road networks, because the turtles move around the wetlands, and so they have to cross roads sometimes, and anytime that happens, there's a threat. Always stop your car to help a turtle is the rule there that I said. The paper doesn't say that. I said that.
that I have implemented.
Yeah. The paper also mentions that the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service was petitioned to consider listing the western chicken turtle under the Endangered Species Act. In Oklahoma, it's listed as a Tier 2 species of greatest conservation need. This was in 2022. I didn't have time to look up if it's been uplisted or not.
Okay.
So
it's okay.
Not super sure about that. Sorry. As of 2022, it was a Tier 2 species of greatest conservation need.
Okay.
So I said that the chicken turtles, the western chicken turtle, is not studied much. That's kind of, it's studied, it's just not a lot's known about it. So a population of the western chicken turtle was first found in Atoka County in Oklahoma in 2007. And then since 2012, ongoing studies have been done or conducted at the Bowler, Seeps, and Sandhills Preserve, which is a property that's owned by the Nature Conservancy in Atoka County. And so over time, that research spread out into other areas that are more privately owned in the river drainages of the muddy, boggy, and clear body rivers. But because they discovered the population in 2012, they had a pretty good opportunity to investigate the species biology related to its reproduction and longevity. So that's why they chose to focus on the specific, like how old they get. Was one of their objectives, because they do have this data going back to 2012. So their approach, this is a little bit of a lesson, I guess, on the scientific process, because I was reading the report and I was just going to talk about the turtles, but then I thought it was cool to talk about how they conducted their research.
How they did that,
yeah. So what they did was they used trapping surveys, radio telemetry, biologging, and X-ray and ultrasound imaging to monitor the females. And they did this throughout 2 reproductive seasons in 2020 through 2021. They also monitored a subset of the population of older turts. I was taking my notes real fast, so I was just writing turts. Turts. They had the data from older turtles, so they were able to use that from previous years to study the age and aging by measuring their scute annulus counts. So on the back of the shell, there's like, we've talked about scutes when we talked about sea turtles. And most turtle species, it's a pretty unique, they're like the plates on the back of the shell. Yeah, there's a pretty, like, you can count them and determine how old the turtle is.
Okay. Yeah.
Like tree what rings. They've figured out in chicken turtles, though, I'm probably going to talk about this later, and so I'm going to repeat myself, but as they get older, they lose the uniqueness of their scutes, and
Oh,
so you can't define their age by that.
that's
So
crazy.
they had data from 2012 from, like, younger turtles that did have that definition, and so when they recaptured the same turtles, they could estimate how old they were because they did have data from when they were ageable, if that makes sense.
Right. Okay.
Um, yeah, so they also measured changes in telomere lengths over time to infer senescence. Basically, they wanted to figure out how old they live when they die. So that was kind of their approach. A lot of trapping and stuff. They studied 3 beaver-formed wetlands in Oklahoma. The
Mhm.
biggest was Beaver Pond 5, which was located on private property, and this had the highest known density of western chicken turtles that they know of in Oklahoma. Can
Wow.
you imagine owning property and finding out that you have the highest density? Personally, that's a dream of mine. I don't know about you, but if someone came up
It's
to me and said, "Hey, you
so
have the
niche.
most chicken turtles. Can we study
Western
them?
chicken turtles.
Western chicken turtles. Can we study them?" I would shit my pants.
Squeal. Yeah, I know.
They did run into
That's
some issues where turtles were migrating to wetlands and people would not give them access to their properties to study them.
yeah, that's not
Which, like,
surprising.
why are you going against science? So that's all I have to say. Anywho,
In
um,
Oklahoma.
you're right. You're so right. I take it back. I get it.
Be for
I
real.
don't get it, but I understand why.
I don't get it, but I understand.
I know the people that I came from. Where was I? I was talking about this big beaver pond.
Yeah, the
Beaver
wetland
Pond
pond,
5.
Beaver Pond
Yeah,
5. Yeah.
so highest density on private property. It was pretty shallow, like a little less than half a meter, like a foot and a half. And it was
Okay.
a mix of like dense vegetated mats that were separated by open water, and then the whole area was surrounded by a forest. And it was fed by a pretty decent stream from a beaver pond on a private property that they did not have access to.
Gotcha.
And then the other 2 sites, that they studied were on the Nature Conservancy land that I mentioned
Okay. Yeah.
before, 2 lakes there. They surveyed the turtles from April to July of 2020 and 2021. Their first trapping round, they trapped all types of turtles and
Mhm.
snakes, which was part of a companion study, but some of the snake traps caught turtles that they ended western chicken turtles that they did end up studying. So they
Oh,
set all types of traps just to get a
two
good idea
birds,
of
one
the
stone.
community.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second round of trapping, they was geared more towards trapping the chicken turtle specifically. And so they set traps where they thought it would be. And then after, I think, like 48 hours, if they hadn't caught anything, they would move the trap to a different location they thought the
Okay.
chicken turtles would be. When they were captured, they would get a unique notch code, a tracker tag, a blood sample. If possible, they would count their scute annuli, like I mentioned, if they're young enough and could tell their age from that. They would take photos of any unusual marks or anything, and they had some
Mhm.
like temperature data loggers on some that measured the temperature around them and kind of helped them tell when they were in or out of water or kind of what areas they were in, which is pretty cool.
Mm.
And then they also measured their length, their weight, wrote down their sex, and then they
Mhm.
were released right where they were captured
Oh,
at the
cool.
same spot. So, objective 1, which was figuring out their nesting and clutch characteristics. So every time they captured a female or checked on a female, they would check her for eggs.
Mhm.
Um, if eggs or follicles were detected, they would use like an ultrasound machine. And then if they found eggs that had a hard shell around it, like they could tell
Mhm.
different stages of growth with the
Mm,
ultrasound.
mhm.
And
Mhm.
so if they had like solid eggs, they would take them for x-rays
Okay.
at a vet nearby. Um,
Oh, cool.
Flooding made this kind of difficult.
Would do.
For their
Yeah.
2021 nesting season was really bad. They mentioned that they weren't able to get out and look for nests really because it was so bad, and they weren't necessarily able to check on the turtles as much because of the flooding.
Yeah.
Um, they were able to track them with the temperature data loggers, and through that, they tried to find a window of when nesting occurred. They
Mhm.
were never able to find a nest, but they were able to study the eggs. One of the females, I think, laid eggs, like, when she was out getting X-rayed before she was returned to
Okay.
her habitat.
Uh-huh.
Laid an
She was like, "Might as well do
eggs,
it here."
so they just incubated them themselves
Oh, that's
for her.
cool. She's like,
Yeah.
"Can you take care of this,
Yeah.
please?"
Um, so then they did track the males too. They did that more to monitor, like, habitats and use within the wetland and around it.
Mhm.
So after nesting season ended, they went around looking for estivation sites, just by, like, gently digging down enough to see the trackers, and then they would
Uh-huh.
take pictures and measure, like, how deep it was, how far away from the water, things like that, and then they would cover it back over, and then they would use trail cams to track movements around the
Oh,
estivation
cool.
sites.
Yeah.
Their second objective, where they were trying to figure out nest site characteristics because they weren't able to locate any nest sites.
They couldn't
Specifically,
really do
they couldn't do much with that, but they did seem to be in similar areas as estivation. So, like, you could kind of see
Okay.
with the temperature stuff where the turtles were going when it was nesting season, but then when they weren't out there, they weren't specifically able to identify where the nests were, if that makes
Okay.
sense. So,
Yeah.
like, you could see the area it was in,
But
but
you couldn't
they
see the
couldn't find it
nest.
themselves to, like, take
Okay.
measurements and yeah.
Fair.
Um, so but it did seem to be in similar areas as where they go to estivate. I don't know if estivate. I would assume
Keep
estivate
it
is
all
a
in the
word.
same place.
They kinda keep it all in the same place,
Convenience.
but then also move around, so who
Yeah.
knows? And again, for 8 months of the year.
Yeah.
Um, so
Crazy.
their third objective was estimating their ages. So they age out of their unique annuli, like I mentioned.
Yeah.
That's a word I don't know if I'm pronouncing correct. I'm just hoping I am. But because of older studies, like I said earlier, they were able to recapture some that had initially been studied in 2012 when they were
Yeah.
small enough to have those distinct annuli, and they could use that data to determine their age. Overall, it's really hard to assess age in older Western chicken turtles. I don't know if that's specific to all chicken turtles or just Western.
They're 29 forever,
Just reading off the story. Yeah.
and that's all they
Uh,
care about.
yeah. Some of the turtles died.
Oh,
Um, their causes
sad.
of death are mostly unknown. They assume probably predation on their estivation sites, like they just got
Well, they are
dug
just
up
sat
and
there for 8
eaten.
months.
They are
But
sat there for a long time. Yeah.
sitting ducks, if you will, sitting turtles, sitting chickens.
Yes. Yeah. Um, okay. I want to read you some numbers before I go into what their recommendations were. So, trapping in 34 days of trapping in 2020, they
Mhm.
conducted 729 trap nights of survey effort
Jeez.
in just the big pond.
Yeah.
They
Wow.
captured, yeah, in that, they captured 544 turtles representing 7 species 1,106 times. So they're retrapping the same turtles, if that makes sense. That's why that
Whoa. Yeah.
number is bigger. They're getting the same turtles over again. And then in 2021, in 52 days of trapping, they conducted 968 trap nights of survey effort in the big pond.
Jeez.
And they captured 352 turtles representing 6 species 515 times. So the numbers went down in year 2. I don't know if some of this was because there was a lot of flooding, but it looks like they did more trapping days.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
It could
say.
represent the population decline. It's hard to tell with just 2 years, I think,
Yeah.
to
It's
tell
probably
a
not enough
pattern,
time
but
to tell. Yeah.
yeah. Um Yeah, so in 2020 and 2021, they captured 43 and 37 Western chicken turtles, respectively. So 43 in 2020, 37 in 2021. A lot of the captures in 2021 were also the same ones from 2020. So in total, 48 individuals were detected in the span of their study.
Only 48.
Yeah.
They just kept getting caught. They're like,
yeah. Okay. I'm just going to read this word for word. So in fall of 2021, radio transmitted turtle CHT1 was found dead and mostly decayed in an upland habitat of Bowler Lake, which was one of the 2 other sites I mentioned that they studied, with no indication of cause of death. This individual was the first of the chicken turtles documented by our lab in 2012 and an estimated age of 15 to 18 years. So he was the oldest known male in the population. The oldest known female, I believe, was in her 20s.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. They live long.
Yeah. So far, it's what we think.
As far as they can tell. Yeah.
As far as we know, it seems like ladies live longer. Yeah. So, yeah, they were able to learn about where they estivate, kind of where they nest, but weren't able to figure out many characteristics of their nesting sites. And then they were able to find out a little bit of age data on how long they last, or how long they live. How long they last is kind of dark.
How long they last?
Sorry.
How long they're gonna be around for.
Yeah. Their recommendations were honestly mostly like, we just need to really keep looking into these guys. Like, clearly we are learning that we know nothing.
They're
it's
like,
hard to age them because they grow out of
we
their
don't know.
like defining marks, and then they also
and then they
are
sleep
just
for 8
gone
months
for most of the year.
Yeah.
And they move around between wetlands, and they just go up on a hill and dig a hole. Sometimes it's a nest, sometimes it's a nestivation site. The bottom line of chicken turtles is we don't know much, but their population's on decline, probably due to all of the things that make wetland creatures and threats.
Yeah. But also
their recommendations were,
they don't know what's going on with
we
the
also
guys.
just kind of don't know.
Yeah.
So their recommendations were more monitoring. They recommended purchasing as much wetland and surrounding land around the wetlands as possible, just to preserve
so
the
they could control.
habitats. Yeah. And then they recommended to locate the nests. They suggested looking in more open habitat so they're easier to find. The area around the pond they were searching in was all wooded, and so I think that made it a lot harder to find a nest spot. Some deviations they mentioned was a lot of flooding in 2021 that contributed to their lack of nest finding capabilities.
Gotcha.
So overall, this was really messy, and I'm sorry, but
no, it was good. It was interesting to understand.
That's the little bit we know about chicken turtles, and then a little bit on the scientific process, if you will.
I was gonna say, do we know anything about Western chicken turtles?
Not much.
They like to sleep.
They got long necks. They're weird little guys. They love to sleep. And they're struggling.
And they're struggling,
we do what we can to help them out.
We don't know why. But I was interested to hear about. More. Yeah. I thought that was kind of funny. At the end, they were like, "Well,
sorry."
Like, your guess is as good as mine.
Stuff, but it's. I think just the ongoing research is kind of how you figure out everything. But that does go to show that like science doesn't always just. It's not like you have a question and you get it answered.
It's not clean cut.
Times you have a question and you don't get it answered, and then you might spend 50 years studying the same topic just to try to get it answered. That's why I like knowing a little bit about a lot of things, so I don't have to spend years dedicated to one thing.
Fair. And don't drive yourself absolutely insane, basically.
Yeah. I'll take better notes next time. I was distracted by anxiety this past week, so
that's okay. Notes. Me too. Don't worry.
I read the report
took notes
last
yesterday.
night. I took notes this morning.
Yeah. I took notes yesterday, so don't worry about it. I was unable to do any sort of notes until yesterday as well because of anxiety as well.
Yeah. Nice. Maybe I'll do beavers next.
That would be fun. I like beavers.
Because I feel like I've talked about beavers contributing to things a couple times now, but I haven't talked about beavers.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Western chicken turtle.
Nice. Good
Turt.
work.
Love a good
Turts.
turt topic.
Love a weird
Love
little
the
guy.
scientific process and how sometimes it leads you to not
Yeah.
learning much. You always
Yeah.
learn a lot. You learn a lot of the wrong things.
You
That's
learn.
part of
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
you learn, like, maybe a wooded area isn't great to search.
Yeah, it's just learning.
But that was their biggest population, so it makes sense that they wanted to be there. It's a
Yep.
lot of trial and error. That's what science is. It's a lot of fun. Good things. And shout out to Ethan Hollander for letting me interview him, probably poorly, and then studying the chicken turtle.
Yeah.
That's all. The
Right.
end. And scene.
Nice. Good work. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to learn about the last Tudor Queen?
I'm so excited to learn about the last Tudor Queen.
I'm so excited. I mean, I am taking on a 6-part series was probably not my wisest decision ever. I will say that.
I mean,
But boy, did it make things predictable every week.
yeah. I knew what I was looking forward to the next week.
Yeah.
So I'm all
This is
for it.
it's a good last one. It's a doozy of a last one.
Oh boy.
So it's not like, well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. They've all been unique in their own ways, haven't they? So anyways,
Yeah.
this is Katherine Parr. Another Katherine.
Another Katherine.
Yeah, she did again a note on spelling. So basically last time we used Katherine with a C because basically to differentiate because there's so many Catherines. There was no uniform spelling in the Tudor era, so you don't actually know how anyone spelled their name, and they kind of just chose on the day whether they would spell
That's
their
what my
name.
mom does.
Really?
That's how she got her name to be spelled the way it was, because she just put different names on every
Cindy.
college interest form, and then the college she ended up going to, it was spelled the way she spells it now. But that's not how
Yes,
she
she
spelled
was
it
like,
growing up. She was just
that is
like, you know
so
what doesn't matter? The way
strange.
my name is spelled. I
That's
love it.
so crazy because I also I have a name that can be spelled different ways, and so I feel like every time it's spelled differently, I'm kind of like, well, I don't really care, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I've always spelled it Maddie, but
Mm-hmm.
then from a lot of the European crowd, it's Madi makes the most sense because my
Oh,
name is Madison, and that is kind
that
of the
makes sense.
logical shortening of Madison.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't really care. As long as you don't call me Maddie with a Y, I'm fine with
Yeah.
Maddie.
I've got
Maddie seems
Catherine,
like,
Katie, and KT.
yeah.
I really maximized the name spelling. You can thank texting being invented for KT, I'm pretty sure, is how that came to
I'm
be.
pretty sure that every friend that I've ever had
I think
that
they just didn't
is
want to have
named
to type
Katie, just
the
like, yeah,
number letters in, and so they would
yeah,
always. I also like it.
KT.
I think KT fits me better than.
KT fits you
I mean,
much
I don't
better
care
than
how it's
Katie.
pronounced, but spelling wise, I think the way KT, just the 2 letters, looks better.
You've
Huh.
always been, well, maybe. Actually, are
Moral
you
of the
KT
story
in
is
my
names
phone?
don't really matter.
No, you are fully just KT in my phone. But I know I don't pronounce it KT. I pronounce it
People
Katie.
pronouncing it KT was something that happened in like college because people would see my name and group me before they would meet me,
Yeah,
like
of
for Young
course.
Life
So they
stuff.
thought it was like a
And so they
like
would
an
always ask,
AJ,
and I never cared. Yeah. And so it
AJ,
just,
CJ,
yeah,
RJ type.
evolved.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, yeah, this girl will spell her name with a K just for clarity's sake, basically. So she was the eldest surviving child of a couple of noblemen, a couple of a noble couple. Let's just say it that way,
Heard.
shall we? A noble couple named
Sure.
Matilda Maud, like her name was Matilda, but she went by Maud. And
Okay. Another nickname. Look at that.
I know I really dislike that nickname though. So Maud just is like a bad
Maud.
sounding. It's a sticky sounding name. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. I see what you're
Maud
saying. Yeah.
sounds like oatmeal,
Like
right?
a molasses. Like,
Yeah.
all the letters are stuck together.
Well, yeah.
I see what you're saying. There's not a lot of
Her
sharp letters in it.
no, yeah, precisely. So her name was Maud Green, and then her father's name was Sir Thomas Parr. She was born probably around 1512. We don't know the exact date because she's a girl. And then her siblings.
Yeah.
she, I mean, let's just get to the heart of it.
Yeah.
And then she has two younger siblings. She had two younger siblings named William and Anne. So both of her parents were involved in the Tudor court. So Sir Thomas Parr was a courtier to Henry VIII whenever he was younger.
Okay.
So he was like close with the king whenever Henry was younger. And then Maud was a lady in waiting for Catherine of Aragon. So Catherine Parr was probably named after Catherine of Aragon.
Oh. And he married both of them.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
So we don't know much about Catherine's father because he died in 1517, which left Maud as a single mother. She was very pragmatic, very independent, and she was very focused on education for her kids. So Catherine was fluent in French and Italian as well as English, and she knew Spanish and Latin as well. And she was also very well trained in medicine. So she was interested in medicine and so got formal sort of training in that. Medicine didn't mean a whole lot back in the day, but for what it's worth,
whatever medicine was to them.
Yeah, whatever medicine was to them, bleeding each other and shit. I don't know, whatever. But anyways, she was interested in it, which is kind of cool because a lot of young noble girls would not have been introduced or allowed, I guess, to be interested in that.
Yeah.
So in 1529, Catherine she married her first husband. So his name was Sir Edward Burgh, and he was 21 when she was 16. So we don't know much about the marriage. They lived on his father's estate in Lincolnshire. So his father was the third Baron of Gainsborough, which means nothing to me, but that just means he was a baron. So they lived in the estate of her father-in-law. We also know that
pizza.
What?
Red Baron pizza. I'm sorry.
I mean, that was a stretch. let's be real. That was a stretch. I was like, I didn't even get it. I was like, Gainsborough? What do you mean, borough?
My apologies.
New York boroughs. Confused. We know he was into the Reformation. We know Sir Thomas Edward Burgh was into the Reformation. And he was also Anne Boleyn's chamberlain. So there's a lot of connections here.
What is the chamberlain?
It's all very much. I don't really know. I assume what does a chamberlain do? He's a high-ranking officer of the royal household responsible for managing the king or queen's private apartments, court functions, and entertainment. Okay, so he was like
the event planner.
The concierge. Yeah. The queen's concierge type thing. So he was that for Anne Boleyn. So another weird connection.
Yeah.
Everyone is connected.
They're all
named
after,
intermingling. Yeah.
Related.
Unfortunately.
Sure.
But by the early 1530s, first Catherine's mother died, and then her first husband died. So she was young and poor and a widow. So she was sent to live with family because she didn't have any parents anymore, so she couldn't go home. So she was sent to live in Cumbria, which is in the north of England, and she lived at a place called Sizergh Castle, with her relatives, while her siblings were both in court. So they were living in London, and basically the rest of her family was living in London, but she was sent to live with relatives in the north.
Gotcha.
But I think this was quite short-lived because by 1534, Katherine married her second husband, John Neville, who was the third Baron of Latimer. No relation to the red one. Before you ask.
Thank you for clarifying. I was gonna ask. What about this time? How about now?
So he was, I should do that. Like, I should do like the historical stories behind like things like that, like the Red Baron.
That would be so fun. Yeah.
Because the Red Baron was a real person. So,
really?
He was a fighter pilot.
People just don't come up with things. They just
Germany. Well, yeah. There's
what kind of statement was that? People just don't come up with things.
Yeah, like that was you trying to be like, people don't have people like I've never had a unique thought, basically.
Yes, yeah, that was
that
was the goal.
That's the sentiment behind it. Is that yeah, people are not unique.
People don't come up with things.
No, not really. So yeah, she married another baron. She married a baron. She was the daughter-in-law of a baron last time. He was himself twice widowed, and he had 2 kids. He was also from a very powerful northern family. The Nevilles were good for Katherine because of influence, basically. Katherine liked him. For all intents and purposes, they liked each other, and she liked being a stepmom. But he was also kind of in the reformish type thing, so they got caught up in the Pilgrimage of Grace, which I talked about last time as it was like a northern rebellion against King Henry trying to oh no, sorry, he's not getting caught up in the reform. He's a religious conservative. So he got caught up in the Rebellion of Grace, which was rebelling against reforming the church, essentially.
Okay.
So they were like imprisoned in their own house for a while. But
house arrest, tough.
Yeah, so luckily
unless your house
was
is like a palace. What does their house look like?
Which
Is
it
it a nice
probably
house?
was a palace. Yeah, so I think they were probably okay. But he was nearly charged for treason, and then he just somehow narrowly avoided it. So
Weird.
he was fine with the king.
Okay.
Anyways, no one explained to me why he was able to
Who am I
avoid
to
being charged
question
with
the
treason.
motives of King Henry, you know?
Honestly, at this
Haven't
point,
understood them until now. Don't think I'm gonna understand them anytime
I don't
soon.
think we'll ever understand. He's been dead for 500 years, and I don't. Oh.
You good? Hey!
Oh my god. Scared the shit out of me.
Your face is so red.
I was not expecting that.
What did you do? Just walk into the room?
Yes, but I'm anxious. But I also have I have the noise cancelers on, so I like.
Oh, you saw the movement.
I just didn't hear anything, and I just saw movement out of the corner of my eye, and was like, "All right." Well, that was Ocean's first appearance on the podcast. So what was I saying? Yeah, so Lord Latimer avoided treason. Cool, good for him.
Yes.
After 1536, Katherine eventually moved to London because she was a part of this very powerful northern family now. So she might have joined the house. So it might have been to join the household of Mary, the king's daughter, but we don't actually know if that was true. But regardless, this would have been in the winter between 1542 and 1543. So she, sometime after 1536, she moved down south and with her husband, but then her husband went back and forth quite a bit for business. But she was a regular at court, so she was living there full time. Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha. By 1543, it was pretty clear that Lord Latimer was on his deathbed. He fell very ill. And Katherine also by this time had fallen in love with a new guy. So okay.
Go
She fell in
off.
love with a man named Sir Thomas Seymour. He was Jane
There was
Seymour's
another
brother.
I was gonna say, okay.
Yeah.
You see, I
So
retain things because I
when I
remembered
say keeping it all in the family,
we really are keeping it all in the family, huh?
all in the same family. He's
Ugh.
the uncle of
I see
the
how this would
future
make a
King Edward.
great musical. Like, I get that.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I need to go see Six. Like that is
Yeah.
one of my goals. The
That
next
would be
time
fun.
I go
Add
to
it to our 30 trip.
yeah. Well, I was thinking the next time I end up in London, which I mean that might not be for a while either,
Ooh.
but like next time we go to
Yeah.
London, I want to see because we saw the Book of Mormon last time we went to London, and it was really okay. So
Oh,
yeah,
we were talking about the
keeping it all in
musical.
the family.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
His brother.
The
She married.
musical.
She fell in love with the brother.
Yeah, because she fell in love with Jane Seymour's brother, Sir Thomas Seymour. Um, we know this because there's letters that survive, where she was saying,
Mm.
quote, "My mind was fully bent the other time I was at liberty to marry you before any man I know." Which I assume just means like I wanted to marry you when I was single.
Yeah. Yeah.
My mind was fully bent the other time I was at liberty to marry you before any man I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So she would have chosen
Yeah, it
him
feels like she
basically.
was yeah. Okay.
Because my exact like the immediate next note is, but that's too bad because Henry's stank ass had already noticed her. So too bad. We don't really know how he met her. He was, by the way, 52 years old at this point. Um,
Oh,
and
good.
yeah, so I mentioned his gout last time. The biggest problem with Henry at this point, besides he was very, very obese and unhealthy, and also couldn't really properly walk because of the weight. um, and also couldn't properly walk because he had been injured in a jousting accident when he was like in his 30s or something, and the leg just never
Sports
properly
injury.
healed. Literally a sports injury that he just like never healed. So he had like an open
I don't got
festering wound on
occupational
his leg
therapists
for
back then, huh? Ugh.
no. Yeah.
Mm-mm. 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 I don't
It
like it.
was like
I don't like a wound.
an ulcerated leg
Ew.
essentially for the rest of his
Ew.
life. And apparently it stunk really, really bad.
Oh,
So,
for sure. Gross.
yeah. Yeah, so not only
Freaking
was he gouty and needed a step stool to get onto his horse,
ew.
but he, he also basically couldn't walk. So it smelled really, really bad.
Pass.
So
Can you just like
this
not say
man,
no if the king's like, I want to marry you?
not really. I mean,
Ugh.
how are you gonna say no? Like
God, being
all
a
of
woman
this in mind,
sucks.
he saunters up to Catherine and is like, "Hey, girl, I like you." And she's like, "Okay, cool."
All right.
I mean, I don't really have any other choice. Um, so basically, we think that he tried to get close to Catherine. He visited Mary a lot in like the winter of 1543. So the early 1543, he was visiting. We have records of him visiting his daughter Mary a lot, and that might be
Mhm.
because Catherine was serving in her household. But he probably, I mean, could have met her in any other series of ways as well. Her siblings were very prominent at court. Her husband was prominent at court. Um, she was also said to have personally petitioned the king on behalf of one of her uncles in 1540. So, I mean,
Mm.
she probably met him that way. We don't
Mm.
actually know. But what we do know is that Lord Latimer dies in 1543, in March of 1543, and Henry immediately proposed marriage, basically, to Catherine following that. So she was often characterized as Henry's nurse because of his various health conditions and her
Mhm.
interest in medicine. Um, but I mean, I'm not a preeminent historian on this topic, but I just don't think that he wanted a nurse because he had he's the king of England. He's got as many
Yeah.
doctors and physicians around
Yeah.
him as he could possibly want.
Mhm.
I think she was like 30, 31, and he was like, "Oh, you're not 17. You won't cheat on me." Basically, like, you've been married twice. Like, I think Henry had some issues. Like, I mean, and it wasn't issues he couldn't solve because he literally beheaded his 18-year-old wife. So
Right.
I don't
Maybe
know
if he wasn't
why.
the worst. I
Yeah, maybe if he wasn't the worst guy in the world, like, he would be fine. But
uh,
I think he just like saw Catherine as someone who was older, more settled, more experienced, and was like, that one. Um,
mm,
he called her sweetheart, disgusting, and he also trusted her with personal and professional duties. So, um, she didn't want to marry Henry. We know this,
mhm. Seems
because
like
she was in love with Thomas
as
Seymour.
no one would, I would
No, no one really
imagine.
would, to be
Yeah.
fair. But she did not want to marry him, but she ultimately decided that it was God's will that she marry Henry. I'm going to go
Tough.
ahead and say that
Queen
God's
deconstruct.
will was God's will was probably helped along by the fact that she was afraid of getting killed and also family
Sure.
pressure.
Yeah.
Who's to
Yeah.
say? Um,
It's God's will. And
yeah.
also the
I mean, I
knife in
feel
my
like that was
back
probably
that someone's
the
pointing at me.
easier answer. Yeah. I feel like the easier answer is just, yeah, it's God's will. Sure. Um, so
That's like what
they
you say,
married.
like when you're
Yeah,
anytime you have to do something you don't want.
pretty much. Yeah. You're like, it's a
If
trial
you
set forth by God.
if you're a
It's a
Christian, I guess. Yeah.
trial.
It's
I love the
just a
trial
trial for
one.
me to go
It's a trial. There's trials and there's joy, and this is a trial.
God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Catherine was one of
um,
those
she really was, bless
strongest
her.
soldiers.
So they got married on July 12th, 1543 at Hampton Court Palace. It was just a small ceremony, close friends and family, including Mary and Elizabeth. She really liked Mary, so her and Mary were actually quite good friends because they were the same age, similar ages, and they had similar interests, so they got along really well. And our old pal Eustace, Chapuis, the
Eustace.
Spanish
Mm-hmm.
ambassador,
Yep.
he said that the new queen, quote, favored the princess in all she can. So uh, she really liked Mary. Um, and she was actually, so as much as she was friends with Mary, she was particularly closer with Elizabeth. So 4 out of the 5 letters that we have from before Elizabeth was 16. So there's 5 letters that exist from when Elizabeth was pre-16, and 4 of those were addressed to Catherine. Catherine also
Gotcha.
published books, which I'll talk about later.
Oh.
Um, but Elizabeth took it on as like a personal project to translate her books to French, Italian, and Latin. So she was really into Catherine. She was really a big fan.
Nice.
Um,
Okay, cool.
Also, by all indications, during his marriage to Catherine, Henry restored Mary and Elizabeth to the line of succession. And by all indications, Catherine was a really big part of this. So she
Hell yeah.
helped
Go
get favor
Catherine.
back for the
Okay.
princesses. Yeah,
She really was
good
like,
for
you know
her.
what? I'll fall on the sword. I'll marry him, and I'll
But
just
I'm
make
gonna
sure
get shit done.
everyone's gonna get
Yeah,
their shit.
yeah.
What a
She
queen.
was like the
Literally.
lawyer, literally. um. So Edward also
Who else?
Edward was really fond of her. And he wrote in a letter to Catherine, quote, "Wherefore, since you love my father, I cannot but much esteem you. Since you love me, I cannot but love you in return. And since you love the word of God, I do love and admire you with my whole heart." So he really liked her as well. Like, Edward
Aw.
really liked her as well. Um, They
She
all
seems
had
great.
really good relationships. Yeah, she seems just like the best stepmom you could ask for, kind of. Like,
Mhm.
she just
She's like, "Don't worry, I'll
cared
make sure
about
you guys are
them,
all taken
clearly.
care of when this old
Yeah,
fart's gonna die."
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So she also helped establish a tentative alliance, actually, with the Holy Roman Empire, and particularly the Emperor Charles V, who respected her friendship with Mary, because remember, Mary is the niece of Charles V, because Mary is Catherine of Aragon's daughter, and Catherine of Aragon's brother is the Holy Roman Emperor.
Right, okay, yes. Yep.
So
Yep.
he likes Catherine and wants to do
Mhm.
Catherine's will because he likes because Catherine
She's
is good to his niece, essentially.
yeah, yeah.
So in 1544, subsequently, Henry allied with the Holy Roman Empire, and they went to wage war in France for like 4 months, I think. So he left Catherine as his regent general. So she was basically running the country while he was gone.
Ooh.
Um, she signed 5 proclamations, and she assisted with domestic issues. There was a skirmish on the Scottish border that she assisted with,
Mm.
because there always is. And yeah, so she was obviously like very competent, very intelligent,
Uh-huh.
able to be trusted with, you know, both governmental and personal issues. Um, she also, as I mentioned, was a published author. So
Mhm.
she was definitely a reformer. She was closer, I would say, to Protestantism than Catholicism. Um, she published 2 books in her own name. She also had earlier writings, but she probably published those anonymously. But the 2 books that she published in her own name were Prayers or Meditations, which was published in 1545, and then The Lamentations of a Sinner in 1547,
Oh.
which was apparently a bit darker than Prayers and Meditations.
Sounds like
So,
perhaps it could be. I don't know
yeah.
where you'd get that idea.
Um, yeah. Yeah.
Don't judge a
So,
book by its title.
yeah. So Catherine, though like personally by her family, she was really loved. She of course had an amazing court because no one likes to see a powerful woman. Um,
Sure, yeah.
and
God forbid a
they
woman
were
gets shit done.
afraid. They were starting to see how Henry's health was failing, and basically were afraid of her influence over Edward. Um, because they didn't want her to be named regent, basically. Henry was a
Cool.
whiny crybaby. Okay, here's how this whole thing
Eh,
starts. So she had
shocker.
enemies, right?
Okay.
Henry is a whiny crybaby and
Mhm.
basically said he didn't like his wife debating him on religious reform. But he said this to this guy named Stephen Gardiner, who is the Bishop of Winchester and also did not like Catherine, like was in the enemy camp for Catherine. So Henry's complaining and being a whiny baby to the Bishop of Winchester, who then subsequently is like, oh, that gives me enough grounds to open an investigation into her. So he ransacked the Queen's ladies' apartments looking
Oh my
for
god.
religious reform material, like extremist reform material. And he
Mhm.
even tortured a Protestant preacher named Anne Askew, who
That's so Christian of him.
I know, right? Um, she was tortured, and though she was later burned at the stake for heresy, she refused to implicate the queen. So he couldn't get actually any evidence out of her,
She's
but
a I'm no
he
snitch. That's fucked up.
yeah, it's even more
Damn.
fucked up because he then takes that and also whatever he found in her ladies' rooms and was like, "Oh, we have enough evidence. We can get an arrest warrant." So he got an arrest warrant. And he went to Henry with whatever evidence he had. Henry's an ass, so he was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever, arrest her." Um, the only reason that she was able to avoid any like pain points out of this is that
Mhm.
somehow her allies found out about the arrest warrant and warned her. So she faked sick She like
She said, "Actually, I'm taking a sick day."
she pulled a sickie, and when Henry visited her in her sick bed, she was like, "Why are you mad at me?" She addressed it with him, and basically said she placated him and promised him that she was only arguing with him because she wanted to learn from him, because she was just a quote silly poor woman.
I'm just a
Literally,
girl.
I'm just a silly poor woman. I'm just a girl. And he was her
Men are
quote,
so dumb.
he was her quote, only anchor, supreme head and governor here on earth next to God. And he fell for it hook, line, and sinker, obviously, because he is himself.
Of course.
Yeah. Meanwhile, while she's sick, she has all of the incriminating evidence that could be used against her taken away from her rooms, burned, disposed of, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever people these soldiers showed up to take her to the Tower of London because they have an arrest warrant for her, Henry himself furiously turned them away, and he was like, "No, you're not taking my wife." And she's like,
"Yes, suckers."
So she's so smart.
Her behind them being like, the way Ashen came in earlier, that's what she was doing when he was shooing away.
She's like, yeah, I love that for her. This is all based on a book, so I don't know how. So there was an account, I think, in the 1560s about this, like arrest warrant story, and I'm not claiming that this is exactly how it happened, but like that's what we have. The evidence that we have, she outsmarted everyone, and basically said,
obsessed.
"Nah, I think I'll keep my head. Thank you."
Queen.
So after that, she actually managed to survive Henry. So she outlived Henry. He died at 55 years old on January 28th, 1547. She was not named as regent in the end, which is probably fine, probably better, because then she was just free to do what she wanted. And what she wanted was to marry Thomas Seymour. So they
did she get
reconnected.
Happily ever after?
Well, kind of.
Okay.
So,
all right.
I mean,
they never do. She's a woman.
Yes, like for a while.
Okay.
So in early 1547, she very shortly married Thomas Seymour without the king's permission. So she did without Edward's permission. So she did cause a rift between herself and Edward, as well as Mary, because they thought it was like disrespectful that she had remarried so soon after their father's death. But I mean, I could tell them to take a look at their father.
Dad?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, not to speak ill of the dead, but like, have you met your dad?
I'll speak ill of King Henry. Like,
yeah, I mean, I like I get it because it was recent. It was probably some sort of like grief coming out, but like,
sure,
whatever, you know, like who cares?
Also,
truly,
he was the worst.
He was truly the worst. So I think Mary got over it. I'm not sure if Edward did, but regardless, she married Thomas Seymour. She was happy. Elizabeth, however, did not care. Elizabeth did not care, and she was still so close with Catherine that she actually came to move in with them for a time until it turned out that Thomas Seymour is really, really creepy. And would like show up to Elizabeth's room in his night clothes and would make lewd remarks to her and like try and touch her and all of this. Yeah. So it eventually
men ain't shit.
I know. So eventually Catherine sent Elizabeth away. I want to think that it was for her safety, but I think she probably just wanted Thomas to pay more attention to her. So she was sent away in early 1548. In the meanwhile, Catherine actually had gotten pregnant in late 1547. It was a high-risk pregnancy because she was already in her mid-30s, I think, at this point. So Mary and Elizabeth constantly wrote to Thomas Seymour to make sure that she was doing okay and check up on her. And she did actually give birth successfully to a daughter who she named Mary on August 30th, 1548. But this is what I mean by short-lived. Catherine contracted childbed fever after giving birth to Mary, and she died on September 5th, 1548.
Damn.
She was 36 at this time, and she was buried at St. Mary's Church at Sudley Castle in Gloucestershire. Gloucestershire, whatever. And then in 1549,
Worcestershire sauce. I think it's pronounced Worcestershire sauce. I think that's how you pronounce where she was
You're
buried.
really good at that, yeah. Gloucestershire was the one I was looking for.
Worcestershire. It's pronounced Worcestershire. So.
Worcestershire.
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 There you go. Wash your sister.
Wash.
So in 1549, Thomas Seymour was executed for treason. I don't know why I didn't look into it. I don't care. I don't have time for him.
Yep. Sure.
I know, like, I don't care why he died. He was a creep.
Yeah.
I'm happy that Catherine got her happy ending, but like, couldn't give a shit less about this guy. So, Mary though was orphaned, so their daughter was an orphan now, and she disappeared from the historic record around 1550. So some people think that she died in childhood. Some people think she survived, but we don't actually know what happened to her.
She's just out there minding her own business. She's still walking the streets today, just doing her
500 years later. Yeah,
just hanging out.
Exactly, just hanging out. Yeah. So yeah,
it's like
that is
how people spot like Elvis or Tupac.
Yeah, exactly. We obviously have spotted Mary Seymour.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your guys' eyes peeled, okay? She's still out there. She's on the island with Tupac and Elvis. Anyways, that was Catherine. That was the Tudor Queens. We're done.
Wow. That was great. I kind of think her story was my favorite, maybe.
I really liked her. You know, she just seemed like a normal girl.
She went in, got shit done, got out, did what. Granted, her, her final husband was a bit of a shit.
Yeah, but
a bit feels
not
like
any more or less than the time than the times called
men.
for. I think.
Yeah.
I think he was probably pretty decent as far as the times went. So,
which is crazy.
Which is insane. So yeah, that's her. I liked her story a lot. So
yeah,
a good way to wrap up the old Tudor Queens.
To wrap it up. That was great. I loved that series. I want to go see the musical now.
Me too. That's definitely going on the 30th birthday thing.
Mm-hmm.
On there. No. All right. Well,
we did it again.
We did it. We've done it again. We did it again.
That was great.
Anyways.
Anywho.
I
don't know how to end it. I got nothing else to say. So.
Me either.
All right.
Y'all keep your eyes peeled for Mary Seymour.
Yeah, keep your eyes up. Catch you on the flippity flop.
Catch you on the flippity flop. Bye.
Bye-bye.